Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Wednesday, November 23rd, 2016. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, where we bring you today's top stories translated into English every weeknight. The Association of Honorary Consuls organized a roundtable to promote culture and tourism, which included ministers, diplomats, representatives of civil society, economic experts, and artists. The goal of the roundtable meeting was how boosting investments and turning Albania into a tourist destination is good not only for the regional countries, but also further beyond. The president of the Association of Honorary Consuls, Mr. Julian Droshi, believes tourism and cultural heritage to be the main catalyst for Albania's economic development, and that Albania has the right potentials to move forward in this strategic sector. In his speech, President Nedroci highlighted investments in tourism and culture as two most powerful generators in advancing Albania's economy. He also stated that these are the two main areas where honorary consuls have a key role in further developing economic diplomacy. Albania has the potential to be properly developed in the fields of tourism and culture, having just the right combination between them. Strategies and serious investments by the Albanian state in these two areas are important catalysts for economic development, which is very necessary for our country. Also, the cooperation between state and private structures with honorary consuls in the community are a base for success. Albania has all the potential to move forward. Let's invest in these two important fields for Albania, declared President Nedroci, who is president of the Association of Honorary Consuls. The ministers of Culture and Economy praised the efforts of the association in widely discussing the development of culture and tourism. He spoke of concrete projects for the coming year and invited entrepreneurs to invest in strategic projects. The minister added that the honorary consuls have a diplomatic and also spiritual connection with the countries they represent. The Minister of Economy considered the roundtable to be a unique case and declared that foreign tourists are now interested in Albania. Referring to statistics from last summer, the minister said that the numbers of tourists increased by 19.7% in 2016 compared to 2015. The ambassador of Austria, Johann Sattler, asked the Albanian government not to construct the hydropower plant at Valbona National Park because if it is constructed there, the park will no longer be considered a natural park. The ambassador of Slovakia, Milan Čignak, focused his speech on three main pillars for developing tourism and highlighted the importance of promotion. The honorary consuls, the Association of Tourism, and analysts all raised their concerns regarding the absence of cooperation between the government and city halls for developing local plans and for the absence of tourist strategies, along with several other problems regarding the tourist operator service and seasonal employees. Responding to these concerns, the Minister of Economy declared that the government is working on a draft of a tourism strategy and invited the interested companies to invest in the airports of Kukës and in the south. This is the third year the Association of Honorary Consuls organized a roundtable for diplomats and experts who have the aim to promote the country and boost investments. The Minister of Foreign Affairs reported on the budget of the ministry, which was discussed in the Parliamentary Foreign Commission. The 2017 budget caused disputes between the minister and opposition MPs who accused the government of poor economic and diplomatic performance. The minister declared that the budget for 2017 is 15.7% higher than it was in 2013. During his reporting, the minister declared that now there are 30% more diplomats for the Foreign Service and that consulates now offer 49 services more than they did in 2013. The Minister of Foreign Affairs declared that this year, for the first time, the diplomat package will be implemented. The package includes expenditures for diplomats who serve outside Albania. The package will offer 400 euros for diplomat spouses and 180 euros for every child. The payment will be distributed starting January 2017. Democrat MPs accused the minister of having frozen relations with Greece and that the government does not want the good relations the former government had with Greece. They also debated over the maritime agreement with Greece, which degenerated into the use of offensive words by an opposition MP as the situation got more tense. After the meeting, a socialist MP spoke out against the language used. In response, the Democrat MPs declared that they were provoked by the majority's representatives in the commission and that they responded in the same way to the language used by the minister. Due to the cattle disease spreading, the Prime Minister has declared that cattle markets are currently threatening the citizens' security and health. The Prime Minister announced that starting December 1st, cattle will not be allowed to be sold in the market without a vet's certificate. Otherwise, the Prime Minister said, they will be seized. According to the Prime Minister, this is an extreme informality which must be stopped. The Prime Minister pledged full government support in the operations to close down any markets found below standards, adding that in 2017, unregistered animals will not be allowed to be sold on the livestock market. Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture declared that the country is at risk for the avian flu, which is already spreading in the region. The minister added that cooperation is needed to prevent this infection, which is circulating in EU countries, from entering Albania. Regarding nodular dermatitis, the Minister of Agriculture announced that 50,000 vaccines will be made available by next week. The Minister of Social Welfare declared today that more than 3,000 Albanian women filed domestic violence claims in only 9 months of 2016. 1 in 3 women in the world is a victim of abuse or violence from a family member. In Albania, 3,195 women have filed domestic violence denouncements between January and September, with only 1,683 of these cases having been solved. In an open forum on gender equality and violence against women, the minister called on all of society to be united against domestic violence, as alone no one can do as much in this regard. One woman who was victim of domestic violence many years ago told her story publicly to serve as an awareness example for other women. This woman fought a battle for dignity and justice, facing physical and psychological suffering from her husband. Moved by her story, the U.S. ambassador was the first one to applaud the woman for her courage. Ambassador Liu said that Albania has courageous people who speak up about the phenomenon, but he added that immense active participation is needed to make progress. 11 private companies have pledged to create conditions for empowering women in their jobs. The company representatives have signed an agreement with Tirana's mayor, who declared that now is the time for laws against discrimination to be implemented. Our challenge is to create successful models, starting with these 11 businesses that signed the principles of women's empowerment today, and who should create success stories. Through this, they will have done much more for empowering Albanian women than studies or strategies or even the laws that we passed, the mayor declared. The Women's Empowerment Principles represent 7 steps for empowering women in the workplace, community, and economy. They relate to the promotion of gender equality at work, non-discrimination, equal opportunities, and training for women, and safety at work. To David Saunders, the UN Women's Representative, the principles will be a crucial factor to bringing changes to our society. Using these 7 principles, Albanian society can reject inequality and promote creative solutions, comprehensiveness, and systemic change, Saunders said. The activity was held this week, which has been dedicated to gender equality and strengthening female roles in society. After being discussed in the Parliamentary Economic Commission, the fiscal package for the coming year was adopted with only the majority voting. The opposition members voted against the amendments of some taxes predicted for the coming year. According to the Democrats, the presented changes leave space for evasion, and the tax rates had the opposition MPs accusing the minister of increasing taxes. However, the Minister of Finance declared that the taxes are regulatory and do not burden the business owners. On Friday, the Parliamentary Economic Commission will adopt the budget for the coming year in principle and will also listen to the candidates for members and chairman of the Competition Authority. That's all for our English edition this evening. Please join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. My name is Mari, and on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.